That we bring in TJ Houshmandzadeh, over a decade in the NFL, tied for the NFL receptions in 2017, Pro Bowler. All right, let's get to this unfair overtime stuff. All right, TJ, where do you land on it?
Leave it the same. I wouldn't change a thing about it. It happens because it's the playoffs, and you're like, oh, man, I wish Kansas City would have had a chance to get the ball. Just leave it as it is. It happens. If you change it and you give both teams possessions, you just go to New England-Kansas City game. New England had 94 snaps. 94. If Kansas City gets the ball and scores, New England is, in essence, going to play 2 games worth of snaps in one game. It's not college football. You only have a 53-man roster. You only have 45 guys suit up. You just don't have the bodies to do it.
Tom Brady said after the game, I forget who had the game. It was CBS, so it would have been, I think, Tracy Wolfson. At one point, he came up, and Brady's the quarterback. Brady's like, I'm so tired. And I'm thinking, you're tired? How's David Andrews the center? How's Gronk the blocker? You've gone to overtime games.
Yes.
How many did you play in? 4-5, 3-4?
I know I tied one.
You did?
We played Philly.
Okay, so tell me about overtime.
You're just fatigued.
You're done.
After the game, obviously everybody showers and you go eat. And I just remember you're sitting there eating, and as soon as you move, cramp. You just cramp up all night. And so it's an uncomfortable feeling, number one. You wake up the next day, you do feel it. And this is the playoffs. You don't want to have multiple overtimes in the playoffs. It puts that team at a disadvantage the following week.
No, Jeff Fisher, I asked Jeff Fisher, the former Rams coach, about this years ago because he was on the committee. And he goes, we're trying to get this thing done fast. Like, our feeling is we played 3.5 hours, it's tied. We don't care about fair. We want it over with. And they just keep tweaking this thing. It's like this. Okay, we'll give that. He goes, ideally, you take the kickoff, run it back, and it's over. That's one play. He goes, because we, statistically, and Jeff told me this, he goes, you start looking at statistics. Overtime, longer the game goes, more injuries.
Well, and that's what the NFL has kind of moved towards, health and safety. When you can only practice once a week with pads on. I mean, guys, when I was playing in Cincinnati, we're getting IVs in practice. That's how hard practice was. I went out there drinking shakes, and they got snack breaks during practice, and things have moved towards health and safety. And so now you would basically be going backwards if you add, okay, every team now gets a possession because it's more snaps and more susceptible to have an injury.
Okay, so we have Ram-Patriot Super Bowl. Joy and I talked about this last week. If you're a player, you've got to root for the Rams model because the Rams pay their players. Even if you screw up and you're a little bit of a diva, Dante Fowler and Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, they'll take you, is that the Patriots model is almost anti-player. Take a pay cut. You're part of a system. We don't even need names on the back. The Rams system, like the Eagles last year, is we're going to go big in free agency. We're going to go get Golden Tate. We're going to get Michael Bennett. We don't care if you're political. Like, if I was a player, I would like the Rams model. It's good for me. It pays me. I can mess up. I can be a diva. I can make mistakes. I can get kicked out of a locker room. They'll come get me. Shouldn't you as a player want the Rams to win?
Because it's a copycat league. And so Philly, I heard you talking about it last week or a couple weeks. Philly, they did it. Now the Rams. But the Rams, what they have done, they're all one-year deals technically. And Ndamukong Suh, 1 year.
Good point.
Aqib Talib, 1 year.
Peters has, I think.
But he's on his rookie contract, so it's a little different. Same thing with Dante Fowler. He's on his rookie contract. It is a little different. If it works out, they win a Super Bowl, great. I don't see Talib and Ndamukong Suh coming back next year.
I agree with you.
They'll both be gone. And so if they strike gold, which I believe they've already struck gold by making it to the Super Bowl in a head coach's second year with such a young roster, teams are going to copycat it, but you have to be smart. They're not giving guys long-term deals. It's Ndamukong Suh. The Rams had a great year. Let's see if we can get him for $14 million for 1 year. Oh, it worked. And so will it be long-term deals? No, it'd be those guys that are towards the end of their career, have had great careers, are still great players. Let's get them on a 1 year deal and see what we can do.
No, I think you make a very good point. So when you go into the Super Bowl, is there a way you kind of lean? I mean, I think the experience advantage. Eric Mangini said earlier it was funny. The Patriots have played in 9 Super Bowls and 10 Thursday night games. I mean, they played the experience edge here is significant. How much? I mean, I really do. I think it's a significant advantage for New England.
I was obviously never fortunate enough to experience what these guys are experiencing and going through right now. But obviously, the experience factor and just been there, done that goes with New England. Tom Brady he's been in the Super Bowl every other year he's played technically. And by the way, he will, if they win it all, 0% chance he retires.
0%.
0% chance he retires.
TJ, you know, it's funny. I have considered that last couple of years. It wasn't the Chiefs game. We have video of it. When I saw him against the Chargers, I was like, retire? I mean, Phillip Rivers looked old. Breeze Sunday in the second half looked old. I thought he looked so good against the Chargers.
He's having fun, though. That's people don't understand to have the amount of success he's had for such a long period. Everybody wants it, but do you have the dedication and the discipline? That's the biggest thing. Do you have the discipline to do what he's doing at his age for the amount of time he's done it and spend the amount of money and the resources to play at that level? A lot of guys say they'll do it, but when it comes down to it, do you really have that type of discipline to have sustained success? And guys will say, oh, yeah, but you'll cheat on it here and there. You'll do this when you shouldn't do that. He's not doing it.
For the record, did you enjoy football at the end? I think you went to the Raiders at the very end. Did you enjoy it, or were you tired of it?
No, I enjoyed it.
To the very end?
Yeah, and I wish I could have played longer, to be honest with you. And for me, though, I was different than a lot of guys growing up. I didn't play football my entire life. I played 1 year of high school football, and then I went to junior college. And so I wasn't one of these kids that my whole life I played football growing up, and then I got tired of it, or I had a bunch of injuries.
You were still a kid.
Yeah, I enjoyed just the competition aspect of it. I enjoyed messing around in the locker room. It's really the competition, and that's why when I retired, I started coaching my daughters, and I probably enjoyed competition a little too much.
Although they're doing real well.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, TJ Houshmandzadeh, Chris Sims coming up as well. Good seeing you, bud.
Thank you, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.